Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is 7th of November and we are going to see all of the important questions for the day. And today's video is going to be very important, so everyone pay your attention till the end. And to get PDF of all these videos, you can join us on Telegram by writing the channel's name, Students Point. You can also follow us on Instagram by writing the username, The Students Point. And if you are finding this video useful, then don't forget to like the video and do share the video with your friends and loved ones. Also don't forget to press the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive the notification at the earliest so that you never miss any opportunity to learn and grow every day. Let's begin now. And lastly also everyone has answered the question correctly, and today's question I have taken it again from weeks ago. So again it is a test for you that whether you are able to recall it correctly or not. So let's see the question. Kabaltal wetland recently designated as Ramsar site is located in. These are the options. Read the options carefully, recall it and then answer it in the comment section. Let's begin now the first question. Gurdwara Darbar Sahib or Gurdwara Kartarpur Sahib is located across. So it is located across river Ravi. So here B is the right answer. It is located in Pakistan's Narowal district and it is believed that first Sikh Guru, Guru Nanak Dev, had arrived in Kartarpur between 1522 AD and had spent around 18 years of his life there. Why news? Recently, Pakistan government has decided to transfer the management and administrative control of the Gurudwara Darbar Sahib in Kartarpur from a Sikh body to a trust under the Evacuee Trust Property Board, which is a non-Sikh body. So, Government of India has condemned this move of Pakistan strongly. Next question now. Amur falcons has been categorized by IUCN Red List as, so it has been categorized as least concerned. So here C is the right answer. Amur falcons are the longest traveling raptors of the world and they start traveling as winter's onset, and these birds breed in southeastern Siberia and northern China. They fly thousands of miles to India and then from India they fly over to South Africa. After that they return to Mongolia and then to Siberia. These are these birds, and recently state of Tripura has issued warning against hunting of these Amur falcons. Next question is again about Amur falcons. So which is known as the falcon capital of the world? So it is Nagaland state of northeastern India, which is known as falcon capital of the world. And why Nagaland is called so? Because there is a lake in Nagaland called as Doyang Lake. This Doyang Lake is known as a stopover for these Amur falcons during their journey from Siberia or northern China to South Africa. So between their journey they stop here in Doyang Lake. That is the reason why this Doyang Lake in Nagaland is called as falcon capital of the world. Next question now. But before that, if you are willing to join our monthly kind of test series, these are the details for it. We do organize tests for each month and the questions for each month are segregated in different subjects which are for polity, economy, IR, science and technology, environment, history and culture. Smaller topics of awards, indices, personalities, sports are covered in miscellaneous. And there are 3 plans. You can subscribe with either two. The first plan is for 79. The second plan is for 3 months which cost 219 and the third plan is for 6 months which cost 420. After subscribing you have to send your confirmation here at pointstudent2020@gmail.com. The link for subscription will be provided in the comment section at the top as well as in the comment section at the top. So subscribe and get your plan as soon as possible. Also, if you are preparing for UPSC or state PCS 2021, then also you can enroll into our new batch. The description of the batch has already been provided in a detailed video, and the link for subscription into the batch for UPSC or state PCS 2021 will also be provided in the comment section below as well as in the description box. Tap on the link and you can enroll as soon as possible. Many of the aspirants has already enrolled and they have already started studying with the course. Okay, let's move ahead now. The fourth question. Consider the following statements about Metro Neo. Let's see what is it. It is a mass rapid transit system providing low cost, energy efficient and eco-friendly urban transport solutions for Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. So this is correct, and this Metro Neo will not run on track but on road. Now this point is very important to note here, that this Metro Neo will not run on track like metro trains. This will run like bus on road. So here both of these options are correct, so C is the right answer. Why it will run on road? Because it will draw traction power from the overhead wires, and these systems are lighter and smaller than conventional metro trains. They are also cheaper than conventional metro trains. Why news? Because recently central government is planning to approve national standard specifications for Metro Neo, a no frills, low cost urban rail transit system which is targeted for tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And there is a state, Maharashtra, which has already approved construction of this Metro Neo in Nasik, and this is how this will run on the road itself. Okay, next question now. Which country topped in Academic Freedom Index? So it is Portugal. Portugal has topped in the Academic Freedom Index. This index has been published by Global Public Policy Institute as part of a Global Time series dataset from 1900 to 2019 in a close cooperation with Frederick Alexander University, Erlangen, Nuremberg, Scholars at Risk, and VDEM Institute. It compares levels of academic freedom worldwide and enhances the understanding of its curtailments. And this index used 8 components to evaluate the scores. These 8 components are freedom to research and teach, freedom of academic exchange and dissemination, institutional autonomy, campus integrity, freedom of academic and cultural expression, constitutional protection of academic freedom, international legal commitment to academic freedom under International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, and the last one is existence of universities. They are scored countries between 0 to 1, and the index did not report 35 countries, which even include United States and Australia. So this point is very important again, that US and Australia are not scored in this index. Top performers of this index included Uruguay and Portugal, which jointly had a score of 0.971 each, followed by Latvia with a score of 0.964 and Germany with a score of 0.960. While India's score was very low at 0.352. It is closely followed by Saudi Arabia with a score of 0.278 and Libya with a score of 0.238. And in the last 5 years, the index says that India has dipped by 0.1 points, and according to this index, Malaysia has far better score than India with a score of 0.582, and even Pakistan has a score of 0.554 and Brazil having a score of 0.466. See, these indices and such reports are very unreliable because they are very much biased in their nature. That is why many countries don't even get into such indices and they withdraw themselves from such indices. So we don't have to too much rely on such indices, and we don't have to get emotional that we are far behind from even Pakistan. And even in from examination point of view, we are just reading this because in some exam they may ask you. And according to this report, political tensions in India have led to violent altercations between students, security forces, off-campus groups, and have driven legal actions and disciplinary measures against scholars who are critical of those who are in power. So it is true that there are some restrictions on the academic scholars, but it is not that much that we score even below than Pakistan and Malaysia and countries like Somalia. Quite obvious. Okay, so let's move ahead now. The sixth question. Consider the following statements about students' innovations for advancement of research explorations, Gandhian Young Technological Innovation Awards. See, there is an award called as Gandhian Young Technological Innovation Awards. This award has 2 categories, and one such category is student innovation for advancement of research explorations. So we are going to see the question about that category. The options are: it is given to most promising technologies developed by the students in life sciences, biotechnology, agriculture and medical devices, and etc. So this is correct, and it is given by BIRAC, or Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. This is also correct. So here C is the right answer. As I said, there are two such categories of Gandhian Young Technological Innovation Awards. The first category we have already seen. The second category is Society for Research and Initiatives for Sustainable Technological Innovation. It is given to students in other engineering disciplines except for the ones which has already been covered by the first category, and it is given, the second category award is given by Society for Research and Initiatives for Sustainable Technological Innovation, in short called as SRISTI, which is a developmental voluntary organization. Next question. Consider the following statements about United Nations Industrial Development Organizations. Let's see, in short it is called as UNIDO. So it is a specialized agency of the United Nations. This is correct. And its mission is to promote and accelerate inclusive and sustainable industrial development in member states. At present, it has 170 member states, and it aims to promote inclusive and sustainable industrial development in its member countries. So here, both of these options are correct, so C is the right answer. It is headquartered in Vienna in Austria, where the recent terror attack has taken place, and it was formed in 1966 by the UN General Assembly. Why news? Because recently, representative of UNIDO in New Delhi has said that regional cluster concept of economic development is playing an important role in Indian success story. Now this question is again very important. Let's see. Consider the following statements about ephemeral messaging. This ephemeral messaging is also called as disappearing messaging. What is it? Let's see. It is the mobile to mobile transmission of multimedia messages that automatically disappear from the recipient's screen after message has been viewed. So this is also correct. So if you have auto turned it on, this feature, then if someone has sent you the message, that message will automatically get deleted after some time. And this word ephemeral describes something that only lasts for a short period of time. So this is also correct. So here both of these options are correct. Why it was in news? Because recently WhatsApp has officially announced that this new feature will soon be available to its users. And if you have found the video useful till now, don't forget to like the video and do share the video with as many friends of yours as you can via your different social medias, via Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp and others. Okay. Now let's see some more points in news. Very important again. Devilmaya Patska female hunter has been identified as the earliest hunter burial found in Americas. This female body was about 9,000 years ago, and hunter-gatherers has buried a teenager with hunting tools in the Andes mountain of South America in Peru. It was found that the body or the remains was a remain of female body. This remains was found in 2018, and it is said that this body was aged when it was buried. She aged during or between 17 to 19 years. And this finding has overturned the notion that the hunting was exclusively a male domain. Earlier it was believed that hunting was exclusively done by male and females were engaged in gathering. But now this finding has said that, or it has revealed that even female participated in hunting, and there were participation of around 35% of the total hunters from female category and not just from male. Next point, Government of Bangladesh have signed a MOU with Serum Institute of India for the priority delivery of 3 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine called as Covishield. This Covishield has been developed by AstraZeneca and University of Oxford. India's indigenous COVID-19 vaccine called as Covaxin is expected to be available in the market by February next year 2021. Okay, next point now. Recently, India's annual resolution on the issue of counter-terrorism was adopted by consensus in the First Committee of United Nations General Assembly. And this resolution was called as Measures to Prevent Terrorists from Acquiring Weapons of Mass Destruction, was co-sponsored by more than 75 countries and was adopted by consensus without a vote. So India has been long saying to the world that terrorism knows no border, and it is against humanity of the entire world. But now the world when themselves are suffering, now they have realized India's advocacy against terrorism. So I hope you find the video useful. Do like and do share the video. We will meet again in the next video. Until then, stay safe and thanks for watching.